open door and turned the corner into the hallway, only to end up face to face with Hanako. Whoa, hey Hanako. Good afternoon, Hisao. Silence fell between us as busily chatting students pass us by. She's fidgeting constantly, her eyes drawn to her rather unremarkable footwear. I take I take the bridge of my nose in my fingers while I blink my eyes heavily in an attempt to make things seem clearer. I'm barely staying awake as it is. Hinako, you want to say something? What is it? I wanted to give you this. Hmm? She holds out a small rectangular piece of paper. I blink again to make out the text, though barely open eyes, slowly starting to make out what's written. Eggs 2, bread loaf 1, whole grain cereal 1, thyme 1. A shopping list? I look upwards, raising an eyebrow. I usually go shopping with Lily, but I can't come. Or what? I can't come, so you want me to run errands for you? It's okay if you don't want to. I just thought that maybe, She's panicking, I sigh. Yet another battle lost, though this time by a weakly fought surrender. I smile tiredly and rest a hand on her head to calm her down. It's fine, I was going to go anyways, just the stuff on this list. She nods and bows deeply twice, as to make her gratitude perfectly clear. We were going to meet outside the school gates at 6. Thank you. I was going to get it, but I need to study for the test tomorrow. Test? Oh, that's right, science. How are you doing with that? She brightens ever so slightly. I've been spending more time on it than before. I think I can do okay. Good work, then. She too starts smiling, and much more earnestly than I at that. I have full confidence that I can do fine in it without any extra studying, but the fact that she's putting in the effort instead of just reading in the library is heartening. I'll grab your stuff and take it to your dorm in the evening. See ya. With a small wave, we part ways. I'll go do my homework before meeting Lily. Should be able to take care of it in time. So I take it the 2 weeks have passed then. Okay. Wrangling with a particular complicated math problem has caused me to do a little bit late for my meeting with Lily. Only a couple of minutes, but enough to make me step smartly out into the courtyard into the school gate. Make a right turn and start my way towards the small town below, leaving a few students turning the other way to the bus station. I slip my right hand in my pocket as I walk in the orange sunlight dusk. Thankfully, for sweltering summer heat started to die down, making way for a pleasant cool breeze. When I stretch my hands high above my head, a familiar figure takes form, cane in her right hand. Ah, Lily. She stops and turns around, swiveling her head slightly to try and work out exactly where the voice came from. Hey, it's me. I quickly catch up to her, coming in beside her, matching her slow pace as we resume walking. Good afternoon, Hisao. Hi there. I glance up at the sky. A distinct tinge of orange discolors the clouds, watching the footpath in its light. Long shadows from the trees fall across the wide road down the hill. So, Hisao, what brings you here? Just going to town to grab some groceries. Hinako sent me. Hinako sent you? Yeah, she said she needed to study for a test tomorrow. I was going to come down anyway, so I'll just buy her stuff as well. Unspoken is that Lily really could use some help to get food, but it's an obvious fact that neither of us needs to stay. It's good to hear she's studying for it. I thought the same thing when she asked me to come with you. We continue walking down the street, the familiar sound of her cane echoing through the air as we go. Except for the occasional passing car, the leaves whispering in the branches, there's a blissful silence. Thank God I can finally relax for the first time today. Glance over at Lily. That porcelain face of hers never seems to lack the air of relaxed confidence. I guess the same could be said about her personality, too. As she silently walks, her face remains pointed to the street ahead of her. I look ahead and savor the cool air blowing over my face. This is probably the calmest moment I've had since the about face my life took so recently. To have it while walking to get some groceries. What a weird life. I feel the crumpled up note rubbing against my leg in my pocket and pull it out to check its contents. Let's see here. Eggs, bread, cereal, thyme, lettuce, shaved ham. That sounds like quite a bit to carry back along with your own. Yeah, just how much does this girl eat anyway? My mind suddenly clicks that yes, there actually is a person beside me. But wait, I mean, she laughs wholeheartedly. My, Hisao. Her giggles punctuate her words, though she's making little effort to suppress them. Quite direct today, aren't we? Yeah, you got me there. Still, it's quite a bit. Usually I go shopping with Hanako, so I know what she buys. It's the same thing every week. Huh, she a good cook? She gives a nervous giggle. It's usually me who ends up cooking. I used to do so for Akira, so it's no problem doing it for Hanako as well. You can cook, but a short hum with an amused Lil emanates from besides me. I wonder if the fact that she seems amused by my comments so often is actually genuine, or rather just from a want to make me more comfortable in addressing her blindness. There are ways around it. Some meals are more difficult to cook than others because of being unable to see what I'm doing, but usually only takes a little more time. Fingers can double as very useful measurement tools, for example. It makes sense, but she'd have to be pretty careful not to hurt herself. I wonder how many times that's happened, given that it sounds like she's cooked alone for possibly years while Akira worked and her parents were gone. With that, the conversation trails off. Compared to the awkward silences of Hanako, Lily seems to genuinely content to say what she thinks and stay quiet when there's nothing to say. The slick road under my feet is bathed in an orange glow, the occasional fallen leaf crunching underfoot as we walk. I let out a deep yawn, my lack of sleep coming back to haunt me. Did you not get much sleep last night? I couldn't sleep at all for the last 2 nights, probably insomnia. Lily's face suddenly becomes worried. It feels like a personal failure every time she gets worried about my well-being, even if it's genuinely nice to know someone cares. You have insomnia? Aren't you going to see the nurse about it? Nah, no real need. It happened before a few times. My meds screw with my sleeping occasionally. I'm sorry. Come on, it's not your fault. At least I shouldn't have any trouble getting sleep tonight. You do worry me sometimes. I worry you? I reach around and scratch the back of my neck. I kind of want to address this. Hey, Lily? I don't mean to sound weird, but please try to forget about my heart condition. She looks kind of lost. I hardly blame her. I guess what I'm trying to get at is, just don't treat me differently because of it. She bows her head slightly, her white-covered cheeks reddening almost imperceptibly. It's only naturally to worry about those around you. Well, it's still nice to know there's someone like that out there. It may be somewhat embarrassing to say, but it's the truth. Lily takes a breath to regain her composure and manages a gentle smile, though her cheeks remain flushed. The final downhill walk to the store passes in silence. Welcome. I suppose I'll get my stuff first and Hanako's on the second round. I grabbed 2 well-worn red baskets for the stack besides the entrance and pass one to Lily. Just as she did before, she lays it on the ground and slides her retracted cane between the basket's handles before picking it back up with her right hand. When she takes hold of my arm in her own, I'm surprised as much as how fast the kind and casual contact becomes so natural, mostly due to necessity, no doubt. Shall we? Sure. While we navigate around the store, the odd person occasionally passing us pays us no heed at all. It's nice compared to the stares and whispers around the city. As we reach each aisle, I quickly check with Lily what she needs and grab it along with what I want, putting our items in their respective baskets. It's an odd feeling to be depended on so much for something so basic as shopping. Hinako would be practically a necessity for her to pick out what she wants after all. Right, pretty much done with both my stuff and Hanako's. You need anything else, Lily? No, this should be everything. Off we go then. Oddly, there's a queue a mile long. Considering the store is only large enough to warrant one counter, it seems like it'll take a while. Damn. Lily gives an inquisitive look, unable to see the reason for my complaint. The queues, I'm guessing this is line, I guarantee. It's really long. Looks like we'll have to wait. How strange. Sharing the same mood as resignation, we reluctantly take our place at the end of the line. One person finishes, the line moves up. Another person finishes, The line moves up. By the time we finally reach the head of the line, I'm so close to dozing off that Lily has to gently pat me on the back for me to move up. Hisao, Ah, sorry. She gives a short sigh of consternation as I move up, getting the groceries for Hanako and I put into separate bags. Thank you, please come again. By the time we emerge from the store, Lily's holding a single bag while I struggle to carry four, both hands well and truly full. It's a lot of work, but thankfully the items in them are light. Even without looking skyward, it's obvious that a surprising amount of time has passed the road outside being dark and lit by the street lights. Once Lily retrieves her cane, we set out back to the dormitories the way we came, leaving the welcoming warm glow of the storm. Despite the road being empty of cars, the full bags abruptly make up for the lack of noise, constantly clunking and squeaking together. My, Hisao, it's good to find that you're eating well. I'm a growing guy, after all. I need to eat all I can. It must be nice being a man. What? Seemingly not noticing or ignoring my surprise to the completely out of the left field comment, she continues on without missing a beat. Weight doesn't really bother you when eating most of the time. I get what you mean. Women tend to worry about stuff like that more than we do, I guess. Exactly. It makes me somewhat envious, to be honest. Well, it's not like we can outright ignore it. With an affirmative nod, we continue on our walk. Huh, that's right. What is it? Hinako mentioned your birthday was earlier this year. Do anything special for it? She gives a long pause, lost in thought for a few seconds as she recalls the event. No, really, it was just Hanako and I having a little party during the night after school. Your birthday's supposed to be a big event, you know. Sounds like a pretty lonely way to spend a birthday, just she and Hanako staying overnight. Birthdays always felt like a family occasion for me. They were a time when, in spite of their full-time jobs, both parents would make an effort to be there for the day, or at least for a party beforehand. Reminds me of how Lily mentioned she hadn't seen her family in such a long time and even ended up moving away from Akira's house afterwards. But I guess it's the same situation as mundane as these. Considering her inability to read the packaging, just getting groceries would be a pain without someone else around. In the end, she just had Nako and I and Akira when she's off from work. But that as it may, she still seems to have many more distant friends among the students, not to mention people like Yuko. It seems to be her own choice that there's such a separation between those who are close to her and those who she only socializes with. It humbles me a little to see how much Lily seems to have her life set up and going just as she wants. Yet Hanako is there for her to celebrate her birthday, and I'm helping her with shopping. It's a kind of weird symbiosis, I suppose. Are you alright, Hisao? Sorry, you just seem to be very quiet, that's all. Ah, sorry, I was just thinking. Oh? Now I've piqued her curiosity. It feels kind of overly personal to talk about, though. Tell the truth. It's just I was thinking about how you seem to have everything so sorted out, even with Hanako relying on you. I can admit that even I kind of relied on you when I first transferred in. I think it's kind of good quality to have. I turned to Lily, surveying her reaction. She's forcing herself to look forward, furrowing her brow quite a bit. Her face looks a bit awkward, as if she's trying to find just the right words. Lily? I would thank you, but assuming that I don't rely on the presence of others is too much, you'd be wrong to think that Hanako simply depends on me with nothing in return. She seems to be a bit trouble saying it, even though it's largely what I thought already. She's tried so hard to maintain her independence, as anyone would have had to do in her position, cited or not. Maybe she finds it hard to talk about her own needs. It's only now that I realize on a mission in what she says, though, I decide to follow it up, largely in jest to avoid things getting too personal. Oh, and what about me? She suddenly runs ahead of me and turns, blocking me off. With a smile, she holds her hands behind her as she leans forward. You're different. With that, she turns back and continues to walk ahead of me, a newfound spring in her step. All I can do is raise an eyebrow and give it a dazed grin. I don't think I've ever seen this playful and teasing side of her before. So I'm different. It's hard to work out the exact context, but knowing her, this is ambiguity was intended. Our relationship has been changing, at the very least, simply because I begun to stand on my own feet more and started getting more curious about the situation of those around me. As to why, probably a mix of personal curiosity and a want to try and work out how to deal with my situation. I'm less sure of Lily, though. That's why my own statement, so similar to my own feelings towards her, throw me off sometimes so much. Watching her make her way up the street, cane tapping from left to right, I decide to settle the matter later and just smile. This is the nice side to her. I don't want to forget it. Oh no. Oh, okay. Eventually we get to the girls' dormitories, both arms aching from the weight of the 2 sets of groceries. Ha! We're finally here. Phew! I bend down to wipe my forehead with the back of my hand. Lily stops in front of her door and sets down her bag, fishing around in her pocket for the key. Thank you, Hisao. I really appreciated your help. Ah, this is nothing. It might be nothing to you, but it's definitely something for me. And with that, she steps through her door, closing it behind her. I blink. There was nothing but honest thanks. But I can't help feeling something different about them. Anyway, I have something else to do before I can mull on that at my leisure. I turn back to the door to Hanako's room and proceed to knock twice in quick succession, the bag still in my hands wrestling together. After a couple seconds, the door slowly opens. If one weren't looking closely, they could be forgiven for thinking it hadn't moved at all. I twist my head to the side to try and peer through the tiny sliver of the gap between the door and the door frame. Hey, Hanako, I've got your stuff. Ah! With that, she opens the door completely, making her plain room visible over her shoulder, sparsely decorated. It's probably even more unremarkable than my room. I hold on my right arm, both bags almost pulling it straight back down with their weight. So thank you, Hisao. I'm sorry to make you carry them all this way. It's fine, don't worry. Just don't make me do it every day, okay? I pass the bags to her as I give a light-hearted chuckle. After the initial transfer of weight, she manages to take them easily. I'll be off then. Night, Hanako. Good night. See you in class tomorrow. With a deep bow, her groceries still held in both hands, she steps back and shuts the door. Making my way back to my own dorm, I put one bag into my other hand to balance them out. Even as I do so, I can't get Lily's light-hearted smile out of my mind. When I'd first met her, it would have been nearly impossible to imagine her like that. Indeed, it feels like we've become close in the past few weeks since I first got to know both she and Hanako. The time that I spend with her each day, the small exchanges of happiness we share, those small moments of joy as I get closer to her. I'm far from certain, but I don't think that these are just the normal feelings of friendship. Once I return to my room, I store away my groceries and begin getting ready for the night. I swapped the school books in my bag for those I'll need tomorrow, putting out the yellow envelope Misha gave me earlier in the process. I got so sidetracked by one another that I couldn't deal with it earlier. Who could have written me, I wonder? The name neatly adorning the back of the envelope freezes me in my track. Okay, we're gonna skip this because... Why should she have written... Okay, well, I was gonna skip, but I can't think of any good reason for her to do this. I almost don't open the letter, but there'd be a little point to that. If I just left it alone, its mere existence would gnaw at me until I did something about it. Alright, can I skip now? Nope. I look down at the piece of paper on the desk. It's a bright summary decoration beaming happily at me. The lettering is pink, jarring badly with the yellow sunflower border of the card. The handwriting is neat. The characters have been written thoughtfully and with an unusual amount of care. I'd barely given the letter a second thought when it was given to me, but now I can't get its contents out of my mind. And I mean, I've read that every time. So, as much as I have a little problem scrunching the letter in an envelope into a ball and tossing it to the waste bin, ridding myself of its existence. Okay. Oh, I have little problem. Okay. I go to bed with mixed feelings, cheated out of a pleasant evening by this intruder from the past. Ironically, it takes a while before I can manage to sleep. All right, here is where I am official business going to end this. Really good recording session. I wish I wish I had more time. It's just I kind of wait like till everyone's gone. So, Little Wing. So, whoops. Oh, whoops, whatever. So thank you guys for watching. I did over an hour.